So for the purposes of this video, let's just put everything I've ever said aside. So anything you've ever heard me say, anything you've ever heard me describe about awakening or spirituality or realization, let's just discard that. Start fresh. Start with a blank slate. Because this moment is a blank slate. Nothing existed before this. Nothing is going to exist after this. We have only this little slice of eternity, for lack of a better way of saying it. So from this simplicity, from this uncluttered experience, we have an opportunity to see something, to glimpse something. I could say grasp something, but it's not a matter of grasping because it's not out there. It's not apart from you. It's already here. It's in your experience. It's already in your grasp. It's already in contact with you and you're in contact with it. And it is not an it, meaning it's not a thing. It's not an object of mind. It's not a physical object. It's not an idea, because an idea would be an object of mind. Even the idea of physicality is actually an idea. So all of these iterations of mind, beliefs about situations and people and places and things and eventualities and knowledge, past, future, all these iterations of consciousness, these are just essentially thought. But I'm pointing to something that's not thought. I'm pointing to something that's not bound by the rules of thought, that's not threatenable or questionable or subject to doubt, subject to proof. It's too real for any of these. Too simple, too obvious. And it's in your experience for sure, 100%, right now, not later. If you think it's in your experience later, then all that's happening is a thought is being believed, and then another thought, and then another thought. We're talking about stopping that chain of thoughts right now and seeing what it is that's always here right now, only here, never in the future, never in the past, just simply this. Now, this next part is something you may or may not directly relate to, and it's okay if you don't. The first part is what matters, which means setting aside all the beliefs, setting aside the illusion of past, setting aside the illusion of future, and just touching into what's here, simply. What is before anything else? What is before time? What is before space? What is before knowing? What is before grasping? What is before rejecting? What is before doubt? What is before proof? That's it. That's what we're talking about. And just tasting it is enough. Touching into it is enough. Acknowledging it is enough. And sometimes that acknowledgement, that taste, will even be precognitive. You won't realize it happened overtly, and you don't have to. So that's really the point. But this next part does apply to some people, and this is actually based on a conversation I had with somebody today. This is something that was in my own experience as well. And I want to say that when you touch into this, when you touch into what I'm pointing to, when you touch into the unfiltered, when you touch into the unconditioned, at whatever depth that occurs, a very profound insight has already dawned, whether it's clear or not, whether you know it or not. It will deepen. There are more pervasive insights that will occur, but don't worry about that for now. If you've touched into this, there'll often be this little aspect of your experience, like a point in space almost, or just some kind of portal almost. Now, I'm using different words because it might be not exactly one of these experiences for you, but something along those lines. Kind of something you can't not notice. Something that's not subject to thoughts and doubt. It may feel like a certain place, but you can't place where it is. It may feel like a certain actuality, but it's not a physical actuality such that you can touch it or say exactly where it is. So it's not subject to time, and it's not maybe subject to space It's not subject to thinking or doubt, but it's there and you know it. It's something that's self-validating, or it proves itself just by being. Or you could say that it's self-releasing, self-liberating. But again, it may just be a tiny little point. It may be the simplest of experiences. This was how it was for me before awakening. There was something that was opening up. And I didn't think too much about where it was or what it was made out of, but I trusted it. I knew there was something opening up in my experience. And anytime I noticed it, it was there. That's key. Anytime you notice it, it's still there. Because again, it's not subject to space, so it doesn't come and go. That's key. It's very important to recognize it's already always the case. It's already always there. It has that nature to it that it doesn't come and go. Once you glimpse that, once you taste that, and you know it's there and you can remind yourself of it, then I want you to attune to that. And if you're approaching awakening, this can be the focal point of your entire practice. This is what we call the one-pointed approach. Give it all your attention. Give it all your heart. Give it all your curiosity, your interest. Give it all your angst. Give it all your will. Give it all your drive. 100% combustion. See where that takes you. You might be surprised. So if you follow these steps from the beginning, where you recognize that which is not subject to time, not subject to thought, not coming and going, and then you realize, well, because it's not subject to coming and going, not subject to time or space, or any ideas I have about myself or anything about spirituality or religion, it's just there. Then you may start to notice, wow, it's kind of there all the time. It's kind of always available, even if it's this little point or something the mind can't quite structure or grasp. And yet there it is. Then you just become more and more interested in it. You become focused on it. You don't separate yourself from it. You carry it with you. There may be a query to it, like, what is this? But the point is the contact. Stay in contact. Don't break contact. Stay with it. Now, if there's already been an awakening, this can also occur. It may be more clear. It may be more simple and obvious and spontaneous. And it's also a tuning fork as well in that space. It's just that you don't have to necessarily try to give it all your will, because you may have a much less concentrated sense of will at this point, or even less concentrated sense of self. But there is still something that's mysterious, that is beyond form, that is not subject to form, perception, self and other, subject and object, time and space. And you can attune to that. You can make it a focus of your practice. Carry it with you throughout the day. Carry it with you often to sleep. Pick it up as you wake up. Use it as a sort of focus of meditation. And it will clarify, and it will sort of grow in a way. Or I might say, instead of growing because it's not in space, it will be found in more and more aspects of your experience, including what appears to be the physical world. That's when the physical world starts to deconstruct itself. Stay with it. Just stay the course. This is the fifth ox-herding picture, where it says, hold the nose ring tight and do not allow even a doubt. You have to do this with a gentle hand and without struggle, because this is not about struggle. The mind is about struggle. This is about what's already the case, already there. More like a trust and a kind of relaxed vigilance. Stay with it and let it take you where it goes. The beauty of this is it's so simple. There's no doctrine. There's nothing to think about. A doubt about this is obvious. It's just a doubt, right? Oh, I don't know if I got it right. Okay, that's a doubt. That's fine. And then there you are, right here again. Just this. So simple. Yeah? So its simplicity is its value. Its simplicity is kind of the magic of it. This is where we regain the appreciation for simplicity, for vulnerability, and for intuition and trust and innocence, all of which are not contingent upon thought.